Can you tell me what a fallacy is?
The reference of God depends on revelation, and the Muslims just pick it up. They borrow it and take it over from the Jews and the Christians. So I don't have any
revelation.
I have no natural theology whatsoever.
The Trinity is the God of the Old Testament.
No natural revelation in this project.
The Trinity is the God of the Old Testament. That's why David worshiped Jesus. And I think in your last stream you said David didn't worship Jesus. Is that correct?
Not by that name. Did he? Did David know? Did David ever mention Jesus? Did he mention the name Jesus?
In the book of Zechariah, it's Yeshua that appears. You didn't know that?
And you think he was referring to a first century Palestinian Jew? Huh, Jay? Do you? Huh?
You don't think that Jesus is the Son of God?
You didn't realize that? You didn't realize that Jesus lived in first century Palestine?
He doesn't know that the Old Testament.
He doesn't even know that Jesus lived in first century Palestine.
You sound like a demon,
oh my
dude.
God, dude! Who even
Jesus
is that?
is the God of the Old Testament. You didn't know that?
Yes, he is. Amen, brother. Amen.
Did Abraham look at this guy? Acts like a demon.
So
You're possessed, dude. Did Jesus eat with Abraham?
Probably. So what?
Probably. You don't know what happened in Genesis? You don't know? Probably.
You don't know? You don't know? Just make your point. Make an argument. This is boring. You're boring. You're boring.
So this is all you have. Look at this guy.
Make an argument.
The argument is that your natural theology fails. All he has is talking over me. Look at this guy.
I don't have natural theology.
Look at you, man.
Nothing that I have said hinged on any natural theology. You're full of straw men, red herrings. You
said in your last stream. You said in your last stream that David didn't know Jesus. You said David didn't know Jesus.
Not by that name. Not as a first century Palestinian Jew, and also, so what?
Jesus is a. So
you
don't believe that you don't believe he's the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament?
What's your point? Make an argument.
You don't believe that Jesus is the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Okay, so
what?
So Jesus says that Abraham believed in me, right? In John 5?
Yeah. So what? Yeah. So what?
Then it's Jesus and the Trinity in the Old Testament. You were wrong.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
False. That doesn't follow.
Which one is it? So it's not the Trinity of the Old Testament. So it's not?
Okay.
What are you doing?
$1,000. I'll give you $100 right now in escrow if you can make a syllogism. If you can make a syllogism.
Is the Trinity revealed in the Old Testament?
Arguments.
Stop ignoring the question.
Got no arguments.
Is the Trinity revealed in the Old Testament?
Yes.
You're sure it is?
Of course it is. So what?
Okay, so when Islam picks up that revelation, it's no longer that God.
Why would that follow?
Why not? What the hell are you talking about?
Because Islam is predicated on rejecting the triad.
So what? This is a non sequitur. They can refer to the triune God without knowing that God is triune, just as Lois Lane can refer to Clark Kent not knowing he can fly. When Lois Lane says Clark Kent is a weakling, she's referring to a person that she has a day rate belief.
All right, guys. Hey, let me jump in.
Stuff on Evans's reference drift.
What does that say right there? What does that say to Cameron, by the way?
Good God. Can we mute this clown?
Is Dr. Trent okay with discussing dogmatic teaching? That's what the text says. Yeah, he wants me to be muted because I asked Cameron this question.
What state are you in, Jay? Jay, what state are you in?
I'm not doxing myself to your idiot ass. Shut up.
Well, I can't find you by knowing what state you're in. I want to know how far it would be.
You don't need to know anything about me. You don't need to know anything about me.
Would you be willing to travel to Texas?
Jay, I said that we did.
Would you be willing to travel to Texas?
I'm not meeting you in
Would you be willing to travel to Texas if I paid for it?
No, I'm not going anywhere near your ass. Are you serious?
Do you have any boxing experience or
so you want to
mixed
fight?
martial arts?
Let's not do that. Let's try to stick to arguments. Let's try to stick to the debate topic.
Doesn't. So I asked specific. Look in the DMs. The DMs. I asked specifically that Dr. Trent talk about magisterial statements. Cameron, you saw that I put up, and now he doesn't want to talk about it, and now he wants to fight.